So welcome to China this morning. It was the boulder athletes who took centre stage. This afternoon it is the turn of the speed climbers, and we're live in Chongqing.
My name is Li Shu.
We were hoping to show you a video of Chongqing there, but seem to be having one or two technical problems. First thing to run through today is that there have been quite a few changes to the speed climbing rules. I will run you through them in just a second. I believe our Chongqing video is now ready. Lying at the meeting point of the huge Yangtze and Jialang rivers, Chongqing has a long and varied history, with the first recorded settlement here appearing in 316 BC. However, it was not until the mid-20th century that the city really began to emerge as a powerhouse of industrial China. Between the 1940s and 1990s, the population exploded from 1 million to over 28, and that figure now stands at 32 million people, making Chongqing the most populous city in China. Home to some stunning new buildings, countless temples, and the famous Great Hall of the People from where the city is governed, Chongqing is the cultural and economic hub of the Upper Yangtze Basin. 2017 marks the IFSC's 6th visit here, and this is the first of 4 Chinese cities that will host a Climbing World Cup this season. And the man who organised this Chongqing World Cup and all our others in China is Mr. Li Shu.
My name is Li Shu. I work in the Chinese Mountaineering Association. I'm a climbing sport event officer. My role is organize different kind of climb competitions like this one. Chongqing is a big city in China, and this is the 6th year we organize the World Cup in this city from 2012 until this year. The people in Chongqing, they like this sport. Yes, we have the Gecko King is a wall and climbing structure company based in this city. So the company support this event a lot. They are the local organizer of this event, and you can see the new climbing wall, all built by this company, this Gecko King. They have a factory in here, so they can build this wall in a very short time. Actually, they just spend 20 days to finish all these walls, and if included other infrastructures, we just spend 3 months to build all this climbing park. The boss told me for the climbing wall is more than 1 million euros, and if we included other infrastructures, around 4 million euros. Climbing is a new sport in China. We have a big population. We have a big potential to get more climbers. But right now, I think for most of the Chinese people, they know nothing about climbing. So we hope to organize this kind of events and promote this sport to China.
And we're just a couple of minutes away from the start here in Chongqing. I believe we can see a start list, the men's and women's competitions. Apparently we don't have the start list, my apologies. There are 16 climbers competing in both sides of the draw. And I was just about to run you through earlier on about the recent rule changes to the speed climbing here at the IFSC. The first thing, and maybe the most obvious, depending on how things go, is that there are no longer any false starts allowed. So if you false start, that is the end of your competition. You'll remember in previous years, if you false started, you got 1 chance during the whole competition. And if you did it again, then you were disqualified. Now, 2017, if you false start once, that is the end of your Speed World Cup. That was proposed by the Athletes Commission. The IFSC agreed to it. And you always want to think the best of the athletes, but some people felt that false starts were being used tactically as gamesmanship to put off their opponents, and it was decided to change the rule. So a bit like you have in athletics, no false starts allowed. 2011 in Daegu, the World Championships. Usain Bolt false started and was disqualified. Same rules now playing speed climbing. The other rule is that there is now 4 seconds allowed from when the officials call at your marks to being ready and in position. If you take more than 4 seconds, you may be given a yellow card. That's a new rule. 4 seconds from at your marks to being ready to go. And there is our speed wall here in Chongqing. I've been told it is certified for world records. I have to say, in the qualifiers, which I was watching earlier, no one came that close to a world record, but I suppose it is only qualifiers. They are saving themselves for the main event. We shall see. And of course, the current world record set by Daniel Bouldering of the Ukraine, September 2014 in Gijón, Spain, is 5 seconds, 0.60. Here's where we are today. Chongqing in China, southwest part of the country. And there's your weather. 23 degrees, hot and sunny, I have to say. Even sitting in the shade, that feels a little... That sounds a little lower than it feels. It's a really hot, humid day. I was just mentioning world records. Be surprised if we see one in these conditions. Not optimum at all, very hot, very humid. But you never know. This is our first look at the speed athletes in 2017. See there in the foreground, in the yellow and blue shirts, Daniel Bouldering, current world record holder. It will be the men first, so we'll have the men's round of 16, followed by the women's. If you are new to speed climbing, it's a pure race with the person next to you. It's not about your time, it's about the person next to you. You beat them, you progress to the next round. We start with a round of 16, then to a round of 8, finally 4, 2 and 1. We also have a third, fourth playoff. We call it the small final. Other sports call it the third, fourth playoff. There is Daniel getting ready. Spoke to him a couple of days ago in the hotel. Seems to be in really good spirits. His winter training went well. Interesting to see how he gets on today in the heat and humidity of China. They're out. He's taking on Peng Hui Li of China. Big Chinese crowd here, all sheltering under umbrellas. And they're right behind all their local athletes. So this is where we'll see the 4-second rule from the official there in the middle calls at your marks. You have 4 seconds to be ready. I'll read you the official language when I get a chance later on. Basically means in position and ready to go. So there's the call. It's a good start from both men, but Bouldering doesn't even look as if he's at full speed, and I think he's going to win this one fairly comfortably. 6.01 for Bouldering. We also have a new start procedure here for 2017. You might have heard the beeps. Beforehand it was just a random beep within a given time frame, and that signifies when the climbers could start. Now it's 3 beeps. The first 2 are at a lower pitch, and then the third one is a higher pitch noise. The athletes can start when they hear the higher pitched beep. However, they do have a minimum of 0.1 seconds reaction time. If they react to the beep in less than 0.1 seconds, that is considered a false start, because that's considered to be the limits of human reaction time. So a false start is actually not moving before the beep, it's moving within 0.1 seconds of the beep. Xizhen Song here on the left, Alexander Shikov. Song not quite a year off, we saw him at the World Championships in Paris last year. Very successful in the past, hoping to revive that form. Just twitched before he went, but not a false start, and they're both away cleanly. And it's Shikov who's gaining the advantage midway through the route, but I think Song's just going to take it. He's not beaten at the buzzer by Shikov, 6.15. So, a new, leaner, fitter looking Xizhen Song in the climb we saw in Paris last year. Who'd had the best part of a year off, really. He's come back. unfortunately out in the round of 16 here in Chongqing. Now then, this will be interesting. Libor Rosa. I was watching him in the practice about an hour ago, actually from the top of the wall. You can look at the wall there in Chongqing. Unbelievable how well he's got his start procedure dialed. You should see he's taking on Ludovic Officiali of Italy. No slouch himself, but Libor surely the favourite in this one. And you can see there, he got the jump early on, and the slip from Fasali means that Libor will bring this home fairly easily, 6.06. Fall from Fasali. Of course, there's nothing stopping you getting back on the wall and carrying on, but chances are the race is already lost. So we do see races where both climbers fall. One gets back on faster than the other. I think Fasali knew that Libor was gone then. It's been another interesting race as well. Stanislav Kokorin. This is in Lee. The Chinese crowd right behind their athlete. Kokorin had a good end of season last year, and you expect him to be the favourite this time. Sorry, just experienced a slight delay there. It's Kokorin who takes 6.24, Lee 6.72. Next, we've got a man that speed climbing fans will be excited to see. There he is on the left, Reza Ali Porshena. Alexander Shilov as well, he had a really good season in 2016. He's racing. Reza, look at the shape of him. He's the most extraordinary athlete. He's probably only about 165 centimetres, but he must weigh 85 kilos. It's all muscle. Expect this to be explosive. Shilov got the better start, but Reza quickly reined him in, and he's gaining an advantage, and that's a pretty clean run for Reza. 6.11. Let's have a look. Close to a false start from Shilov. No, it looked as if he thought it might have been a false start and paused low down. Gave Reza the advantage. He had it. He's never going to let that go. Up next, a very explosive athlete, Bassem Marwan, is taking on Konstantin Pavlenko of the Ukraine. There he is, closest to the camera. Bassem in the background. Strong field here in the men's competition. There won't be many names that are unfamiliar to regular speed climbing viewers. Unfamiliar faces here. One exception. I'll explain in a second. So, Basser, after a clean start, and it's a clean run, and the cameraman can barely keep them both in the same shot. Basser, I suspect, knew he didn't have to rush, and he didn't. 6.63 for him. Let's have another look at where this one was won and lost. Slip there early on from Pavlenko. Pretty cruisy run in the end for Basser. Eases through. So this is an all Russian affair, Dylan against Bogomolov, on the left, on the right. Slightly sluggish start from both, and this one's the closest we've had yet. I think Dylan might just about have it, he certainly does now. 6.27 sees him through. Another look at that start. Better start. Got reined in quite quickly. Looked like it was going to be tight, and the slip just there. Left foot Molov. Dylan brought it home 6.27. Now then, this is a map worth keeping an eye on. Leonardo Jontero on the left. Showed flashes last year. He's coming to this in superb form. His pre-season competition results were extremely impressive. He's taking on Adamonov of Russia. Good start from both of them, but Jontero opened up an early lead. Doesn't have it anymore though. He's very tight as we head to the top. And Jontero takes it by 0.06 of a second. To say, I thought he might find that one slightly easy. But makes it through safely enough. 0.06 of a second all it took. See it again. Midway through, he was just behind Jontero actually. It was the final 5 or so meters that counted for him. So that's the men's round of 16 done. We're already on to the women. Annick Jobert on the left there, second overall in the World Cups in 2016. Although she won 4 events, including 3 in a row. Extraordinary. Certainly the favourite here against Pantelieva of Russia. A little twitch from Jobert just before we went. She's already got a lead, and if she even glances to the right, which I think she has done, she'll know she doesn't need to rush still. 7.91, under 8 seconds for Jobert, safely through. It's not a false start from Jobert, but there's a slight twitch. Where is it? Missed it. Okay. You can see here she already had it in the bag. Much to do from there. Kazavina of Russia now. Check of Poland. Check on the right. Kazavina on the left. 3 beeps. On the third they go, and it was a good start for Kazavina, but check. As if she made up the ground quickly, but the gap's opened up again. Krasovina 8.21 takes it, slip from Bookcheck. She records the time 12.56. Next we'll have Elena Markusheva of Russia against Asel Marlanova, also of Russia. As so often the case in speed climbing, it's Russia against Russia. Markusheva on the left, Marlanova on the right. So Kazakhstan, apologies, Asel. That's a good start from Marlanova. I thought Markusheva would be the favourite for this, and she is now beginning to open up a bit of a gap. There she goes, 8.43 for her. Up next will be Anna Tsiganova of Russia, Yiling Song of China. So Tsiganova on the left, Song on the right. Tsiganova is already competing in the bouldering this weekend, but not showing any signs of fatigue at this stage. Relatively clean run from her. Clean run from both. Tsiganova had the speed. 8.95 from Song though. Too bad a time at all. Again there. Pretty clean run from both. Anna's been competed in a few Boulder World Cups recently. Might make the semis here in Chongqing. She's certainly got the power to be a good boulderer. Let's keep an eye on in future World Cups. So here's Yulia Kaplina against Dean Yu of China. Kaplina, reigning Boulder World Cup champion from 2016. And this is why. Nice, clean, crisp style. She's up in 8.25. I think she probably knew if she could record anything under 8.5 seconds, she wouldn't have too many issues. So it proved. Consistency was the key for Kaplina in the rankings last year. Won as well many World Cups as Anouk Jobert. Did enough to win in the rankings. So an old Polish affair next. Poland, another very strong sport climbing nation. Anna Brozek on the left there. Dita Ropek, veteran climber. Doing this a long time, been very good at it for a long time. They both start cleanly. We haven't had a false start yet since the new rules. It's Brozek who's opened up a lead that she looks like hanging on to, and she does. 8.47, 9.05 for Ropek. Anna Brozek goes through to the round of 8. Have a look at it. It's just a slip there from Ropek. I think Brozek probably had it in the bag anyway. Happy with that. So Ukraine against China. Ala Marenic takes on Mingwei Ni. Marenic got out of the blocks quickly. She stumbled early on, but she's recovered. Another stumble there though. This one could be tight. Marenic you'd have thought would have been the strong favourite, and she does enough in the end. 8.66, not the cleanest of runs though. Look, there's two quite significant slips from Ala Marenic. Certainly not her best run, but she does enough. She's through. She'll race the winner of our next race. Amelia Saracen against Hulan He of China. Saracen you would expect to be the marginal favourite here. And Saracen furthest from the camera. He closest to it. On the right as we look at it now. Saracen flies out the blocks. She's got a marginal lead, but it isn't growing. Just beginning to now. Wins it by a metre or so, and Hay fails to record a time. Remember, you have to press the pad with sufficient force and sufficient accuracy to stop it. Otherwise, you don't record a time. Have a look. Saracen, there it is. Let's have a look at Hay. Yeah, just down and left of the pad. So that's the round of 16 completed, on to the round of 8. So without further ado, appropriately enough, things always move quickly in speed climbing World Cups. We'll have Daniel Boldyrev beat Penghu Hui Lin in the first round, and Alexander Shikov who beat Xijin Song, the Chinese local hero. Boldyrev, the world record holder, 5.60 seconds. Be surprised if we see that from him today, but expect something around the 6-second mark. And this is tight. Very tight. 5.90 from Boldyrev. Fast time from him, especially given the conditions. very fast time. 5.92 from his opponent. 200ths of a second. And nicely handshake between the pair there. So Libor Hrosa beat Ludovic Fasali earlier on. Fasali slipped, if you remember, didn't record a time. Libor looked sharp anyway. Stanislav Kokorin, who he's taking on. So Hrosa, good start again, powering his way up the route, but a slip and another 5.97. That is perhaps a surprise. Libor looking very sharp earlier on today. No slip midway up the route. Let's have another look. There it is, the right foot, and as he gets back on, it looked like he might just salvage it, and the left foot slipped. Disappointing for Libor. He was in Victoria in Canada. Libor, which if you've ever been to Victoria in Canada, you'll know is a pretty good result. Lovely place. So Razor is out next. Razor and Bassem Awem. He is currently ranked 5, very much a contender for the win here. Already a World Cup winner. This is going to be explosive. Bassem ranked just one place above him in 4th. Bassem 10 years older. We shall see. Strap in for this one. This should be close. Problem there. It's a yellow card for Basser. It's for taking too long to set himself. I presume you don't have a timer. I'm assuming that was the problem. This new rule, you have 4 seconds from the official saying at your marks to being ready to go. Cracking start from Razor, and once again he skips one of the lower holds. We'll look at that again in just a second, but then he slipped further up. 6.12 from Bassett takes him through. Razor, as you'd expect, bursts out of the blocks. Let's have a look at this start. So he skips out. The hold on the left there, you can see that's his technique. No one else uses that. That was a slip. Never quite recovered. See, he's got the speed when he's going. Basser, clean, precise climbing, sees him through. So another race between 2 climbers who might not be expecting to make the top 4 here, but certainly be hopeful of it. One of them's got to go out though. Vladislav Dolin on the left and Leonardo Jontero on the right. They both get a good clean start, and this is close so far. I think Dullin's got a slight lead, which he looks like just about holding on to. He does. 6.01 sees him through. So 2 of our last 4 recording times under 6 seconds. Stanislav Kokorin 5.97 and 5.90 from Daniel Bouldering, who looks somewhere very close to his formidable best. We're on to the women. Joubert on the left. Say 4 World Cup wins last year, 3 in a row. Still didn't take the overall crown. Taking on Maria Krasovina of Russia. Again, that familiar twitch of Joubert just before the start. She's opened up a small lead, which she has lost. Big shock here, 8.17. Krasovina goes through. Not the result many would have been expecting. It's been over in Japan training Anouk. Looking sharp, and she was climbing well here. It was just a slip. Let's have a look. I think that left foot wasn't a big slip, but it was big enough. By the time she reset the right foot, too late. Joubert out. Krasavina through. Lane at Markusheva furthest in the camera on the left as we look at it now, and Tsiganova is on the right. Two Russian athletes go head to head. It's a good start from both. Very tight race, but a big slip from Markusheva. Tsiganova, I'm sure, is aware she doesn't need to rush. She goes through 7.97, good time. She didn't hold back despite basically having it in the bag from 5 meters in. Have another look at it. It's a hand that slips. You don't see that many slips. The hand, actually the foot that goes, but Sheva, right hand. Just a question of accuracy from here. Yulia Kaplini, you can see there on the left, just being tied in. We're using an auto belay system, by the way, here in Chongqing. Not traditional belays. Brozek there on the right. It's Russia against Poland. Better start from Kaplina, but Brozek made up the ground almost immediately, but now she slips and Kaplina will have a clean run to the top. Well, if 2016 is anything to go by, Yulia Kaplina is one of the main people to beat in this women's speed climbing competition. And her main rival from last year, Anouk Joubert, has not made it out of the round of 8. This is an earlier race. Chong, that was how his race Chongqing World Cup ended. It was a very fast time from Yulia Kaplina, 7.82. Puts her within 3/10 of the world record. I know 3/10 is quite a lot in speed climbing terms, but very impressive performance early on. So now we've got Ala Marenic against Aurelia Saracen on the right of France. It's Marenic who opened up an early lead. She has not held on to, and I think this is going to be our tightest race yet. It would have been had Saracen not slipped. She looks heartbroken. It was a very last move. It's Marenic who progresses. Have another look at that. Tight, eager arm Saracen. It's the left foot as she goes for the buzzer. Over till it's over. So we're already down to 4 athletes in both the men's and women's competition. Men's, we've got Daniel Boldyrev, in very good form, recorded the fastest time, 5.90. He'll be taking on Stanislav Kokorin. Bassem Mawem, having beaten Reza Ali Poshe and Zandifar, will take on Vladislav Delin. Russia. Over in the women's, Maria Krasavina take on Anna Tsiganova. And Yulia Kaplina will take on Ala Marenic. So the winner of those races will end up in what we call the big final. That's basically the first, second playoff. And the runner-up in those races will end up in what we call the small final, which is essentially the third, fourth playoff. Slight delay. The sun now fully on the lower section of that wall. Let's have another look at Reza against Bassem. Reza slipped really, it was really a slip. He just seemed to lose momentum. Bassem meanwhile just kept it solid. He was up 6.12 for him. Slowest of our 4 semi-finalists. It was enough. It was when Dillon beat Jontero. It was pretty close, this one, tenth in it, 15 hundredths of a second, 6.01. This was the big shock so far. Anouk Jobert. Lost momentum midway up the route, about 2/3 of the way up. Handing the win to Anna Krasovina. This is Anna Tiganova, 7.97, excuse me. Next, Julia Kaplina. Actually the fastest time of the day, despite not really needing to rush. She had this one from early on, 7.82. Finally, Alan Marenic. This was tight. Aurelia Saracen on the right of your screen slipped on the very last move to the buzzer. Let's have a look. It is left foot. Fast time from Marenic as well. 1.83. And now the athletes are presented to the crowd once again. Daniel Boldyrev, Stanislav Kokorin, Bassam Marwem, Vladislav Delin. They are your 4 male semi-finalists. Vladislav Delin. Not quite getting the memo about the choreography there. Very enthusiastic local MC. Welcomes on Anna Tiganova. Here's Julia Kaplina, reigning Speed World Cup champion. And there's Alan Marenic. Ukraine topping and tailing the lineups. 4 Russians as well. So 5 Russians. Extraordinarily strong speed climbing nation. In terms of ranking, 100 points for first place. And coming very nicely for Julia Kaplina, looking to defend her title from last year. Anna Tiganova, meanwhile, who's also into today's semi-final. She was 5th overall last year. Just to remind you, just tuning in for the real business end of this Speed Climbing World Cup, we do have some new rules to tell you about. First one is that there are no false starts allowed. If you false start once in the competition, you are disqualified from the World Cup. No strikes given. 1 strike and you're out. There's a change from last year. Also, there is now a rule that you are only allowed 4 seconds from the official calling at your marks to being ready and in position at the foot of the wall. I'll read you the exact definition of what is considered at start and ready to go. Rule 8.9.3. At the command at your marks, each competitor shall take a position on the starting pad with 1 foot, placing both hands and 1 foot on the preferred starting holes within 4 seconds. The jury present and or an IFSC judge may issue a yellow card warning to any competitor that exceeds the maximum time allowed. So that's our other new rule, and the other one is we have a slightly different start system. 3 beeps the climbers can go at the start of the 3rd beep, or more than 0.1 seconds after the start of the 3rd beep. Not Libor Horosa, there he is, Daniel Boldyrev. world record holder, 5.60. Third overall last year. He'll do better this year. Gets a very good start, but immediately slips. And I think Stanislav Kokorin on the right will bring it home. He will. He's into the big final. That's Stanislav Kokorin on the right, not Libor Horosa, just ignore that. Daniel Boldyrev goes into the small final. Passing my win. Alongside him, Vladislav Dulin. This replacing the big final. The runner will go in the small final, the third, fourth playoff. And it was a quick start from Dulin and a slip immediately from Basser. Both slips coming in that left-hand lane. I wonder if there's anything in that. Either way. Dulin progressive. Look at it. Basser slipped almost immediately. Women, the semi-final. Maria Krasovina on the left, Anna Tsiganova on the right. And it was a very quick start from Tsiganova. And she's, if anything, opening up that lead. She's got about half a metre lead, but a slip costs her a place in the big final. 8.02 Krasovina. Sees her safely through. Another look, it was the left foot from Tsiganova that did it. 0.02. So Yulia Kaplina against Ala Marenic. Kaplina won overall last year, Marenic was 7th. Very solid so far this week, they're very neat. She's the favourite. Anything can happen. Speed climbing. She starts well, but so does Marenic. Kaplina's going to have to earn this if she wants to place in the big final. I think she's going to get one. There it is, 7.46. She's through. She will have a chance to win this first Speed World Cup of 2017. And you can see the wall, the sun creeping up it. It is fiercely hot here in Chongqing. It's very damp heat. They have a lot of problems with pollution here in Chongqing, and I think just the natural humidity of this part of China means it really feels quite hot and sticky. Pretty much the worst climbing conditions possible. Despite that, we're seeing some really good times. Yulia Kaplina. I didn't want to confirm it because I could see the judges moving around, but that is, believe it or not, a new world record for Yulia Kaplina. So I was busy saying that conditions were terrible. She puts in a world record. It flashed up on the screen. It's a bit strange. We can still see some of the officials walking around. seems to have been given it. So congratulations, Julia Kaplina, new world record. That's the last time I blame falling off a route on bad climbing conditions. Incredibly humid, hot conditions. Julia Kaplina, not even in the big final, but in the semi-final, 7.46, that is a new world record. So Daniel Boldyrev, the men's world record holder. He's off to a cracking start in this small final. He's going to bring this home fairly easily. 5.62, we nearly saw a men's world record. Daniel Boldyrev, 200ths off his own world record. Well, Julia Kaplina's just broken her own world record. Daniel Boldyrev nearly repeated the feat. 200ths off his own record. Takes third place. Yeah, Julia Kaplina. Fantastic world record here in Chongqing. World Cup number 1 of 2017. I lost the moment slightly when I was someone signalled there may be a technical issue. Don't know what it might have been, and it certainly wasn't one. Hopefully we'll see that again, but yeah, new world record. So this is the men's big final. This is to win here in Chongqing. Just come very close to seeing a men's world record, and we have seen a women's world record. It's Russia against Russia. Kokorin on the left, Dillin on the right. It was a good start from both, and Kokorin I think has an early lead, but Dillin's already reined it in. I think he's going to take this. He is. 5.91 for Vladislav Dillin, wins him the Chongqing World Cup, the first of 2017. He beats his compatriot Stanislav Kokorin into second. He is the first World Cup winner of 2017. Looks pretty happy with it, as well he might. Here's how it was done. This was close. He just seems to, in the top half of the route, open up a bit of a lead. Very small, 500ths of a second, there it is. 500ths of a second, looks like in slow-mo. About half the length of the climber's forearm. So there's Tsiganova on the left, Maronic on the right. This is the ladies' small final. The third place. Look, very fast start from Maronic. She almost looked like a false start, but she hasn't got the raw speed of Tsiganova. She has, however, got the neatness, and she takes it 7.84. So Alan Maronic will take the bronze medal here. Let's have another look at this top out. Tsiganova looked like she had a decent enough lead, enough to win it anyway. Just the top hole, the left foot. We saw that earlier from Aurelia Saracen. Exactly the same move, that left foot onto the final foothold. Aurelia Saracen slipped earlier, now Anna Tsiganova does the same. So Julia Kaplina, she was the world record holder coming into this World Cup. She leaves the world record holder as well with an improved time. She's on the right, Krasavina's on the left. Good start from Kaplina, and a good start from Krasavina. Kaplina's going to have to earn this if she wants a World Cup win to go with her world record, and she gets one, 7.54, 100th off her old world record. She looks like the person to beat at this very earlier stage. of the 2017 season. She wins here in Chongqing. Second to Maria Krasavina. This is a replay of Bouldering against Mawem. Bouldering was fast here. He was 200ths off the world record, but it wasn't quite. And we'll just have a quick recap of the 4 last races. This is Dillin claiming the gold medal. Here it is, 5.91. This was Marenic taking 3rd in the women's competition ahead of Anna Tsiganova. Keep an eye on Tsiganova's left foot. And this was Kaplina. Another very, very fast time for her. There we have it. Nothing to report this first World Cup here in Chongqing, except for a new world record, of course. Congratulations to Yulia Kaplina and Vladislav Dillin. It's 1 World Cup down, only 1 week to go until the next. We'll see you in Nanjing.